It's me, dudieboy! Welcome back to the ScoutCraft server. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to decorate your iron farm. Here is my iron farm on the server, basically just 3 villagers and a zombie. The zombie scares them, keeps them up all night, and then continuously summons iron golems to kill the zombie. However, the iron golems are pushed over into this lava block and destroyed. When they die, they drop iron and posies into the storage system there. We're going to want a better storage solution also as we decorate this thing. Let's hop up here and I'll try to show you what's going on. So yeah, I've been taking my iron blocks out of here and combining them in order to use this storage more efficiently. And also I've been taking these poppies over there to a little system that I have. This is just a little compact composter. And it automatically takes anything you put into it and converts it into bone meal. So yeah, no shortage of iron just because I built only one spawning platform. So first of all, when considering decorating your iron farm, you need to take into account all these spatial considerations around the villagers. We're going to need a structure that houses both the zombie and the villagers and the spawning platform above. Whatever we build around them, we don't want to obstruct the villagers' view of the zombie or will decrease the efficiency of the iron farm. It's also a pretty bad idea to leave the iron farm operational while you're trying to do this, so you'll want to disable the iron farm by blocking the villager's view of the zombie. You can do this simply by putting a dirt block there. The next thing you'll want to consider is that you don't want to add any platforms within 8 blocks of the villagers. Otherwise, they will spawn iron golems there rather than up on the spawning platform, which is where you want them. So what I'm going to do right now is just raise some scaffolding right here, just to remind myself how far off the ground I built their beds. And I think actually I'm going to have to do it from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are exactly 8 spaces off the ground. Now that's great if we wanted to leave ground here, but if I'm going to build a structure around them, I'm going to want that structure to have a floor. So I'm actually going to have to take out this grass. And given how close this little embankment is to the zombie here, I'm probably going to have to take that out too. Now that we have enough room for a floor below, let's first expand the one double chest here into a connected storage silo. That way all our iron is always within reach from the ground floor, and when we take some out, iron will trickle down from the chests above. Let's build the tower around the villagers and the spawning platform. First, mark the corners of the spawning platform above by moving directly under each and put a block on the ground directly below ourselves. Now move 2 blocks outward diagonally and put another block there. This isn't a perfect square, so let's make some adjustments. First of all, we're going to need a block between the blocks that are directly under the platform and the zombie, because this is where the tower is going to end and the little house around the zombie is going to begin. So I'm just going to put 2 blocks next to each of these and get rid of the outer ones. Now let's count how many blocks we have across the front and back. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12. That's a very even number. Not sure I like 12. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have some more adjustments to make. So let's take this wall in one. Alright, so if we just add one more outside the last row here, now we have an 11 by 11 square, and I am pretty happy with that. So we are just going to fill in the whole floor here. So between episodes, I did some work on the villager trading hall here. I added this little, wall and kind of raised the dirt around the villager trading hall just to make it look a little bit more stable. I put a stairs down here and then also created this little path over to where I would eventually build this. And now we have another high retaining wall back there, and we also have my storage unit. I gave tutorials for both of these structures, the villager trading hall and the storage house, on my channel, so please check them out. One of the things I'm basically obsessed with about this storage house is the pattern I did on the floor. So this is cobbled deep slate and then regular deep slate, and it's just alternated in a checkerboard pattern. And when you move away from it and you stop targeting the blocks, of course, it kind of melds together in this kind of pattern that is just mesmerizing, and I love it. So I'm going to do the same thing in my tower today. So I'm going to take out every other block, and then I'm going to replace it with a deep slate block that is right side up, meaning placed on the ground so that we have this pattern on the top of it. If you place it up against another block, it turns on its side and it doesn't quite look right. Before we raise up the sides of this tower, let's mark 8 blocks above the spawning platform. So this 8 blocks represents the area where the villagers can spawn in iron golems. So anything we build, we want to make sure we start on top of this block here. I'll get off to the side. So yeah, this 8 blocks represents the distance that we can't build in. So the roof will have to go on top of there. So there are many methods of building a tower, I'm sure, but I always start with the basic shape, which is just a circular square that I raise upwards. I started off trying to texture the wall as I built it, but the task became a little overwhelming, so I refocused on raising the walls first. On the front side where the zombie is, I started the wall above the villager's sight line so as to not break the farm. Then I went back to texturing the walls, but after finishing the first, I decided to add fortifications to the bottom. This is where I sort of went down a rabbit hole on the design, pressuring myself to do something extraordinary when the truth is I should have just kept it simple. Then I copied this design over to the next side before even texturing the wall, and what I ended up with was very busy and over-detailed at the bottom. Though textured, the walls were still kind of plain, so I decided to break them up with vertical strips of stone brick wall and mixed in mossy stone brick walls to texture these strips as well because I love detail. Then I continued on and copied all of this over to the wall on the remaining side before I realized I just wasn't happy with what I was building. So, although I've done quite a bit of work on the tower at this point, and I've got the walls all raised up, and frankly it's looking pretty good, I can't help but feel that I've done too much to the bottom of the tower here. It's just too busy, and I think I need it to be simpler, so I'm actually going to take off just this outside bottom part of the tower and simplify it, and then we'll be ready to put the top back on. At the risk of losing viewers, I'm going to show you fixing the build because I think it's valuable to see that we all go through versions in our Minecraft designs, and you shouldn't be afraid to either. And not every time-lapse has to feature a slick and practice build set to trance music, right? With the base simplified, I want to fix something else that's been bugging me, the corners of the walls. They just look too plain, frankly, and filling them with a mix of polished and regular andesite really works better. Now our eyes are easily drawn up to the top of the tower, where I'm going to add a simplified set of matriculations, which are the archer stations at the top of the tower. This build is finally getting my imagination going. I can see it being an old watchtower ruin converted to an iron farm. Guys, this is something I'm starting to become very proud of. This is looking really good. Now, like I've been talking about, we're actually going to add a wooden house on the front end of this tower, and that's how you're going to enter, right underneath the zombie. And believe it or not, I got my inspiration for this build from a photo of a custom Lego set. Can you believe that? Listen, inspiration can come from anywhere. Don't let it pass you by, and don't be afraid to take inspiration from something just because it's a kid's toy. Let's build the attached house together. First, let's run horizontal spruce posts from here out 5 blocks. These connect perfectly right below the zombie. I want him on display through a front window. Then we just take more posts to the ground. And the first floor frame is done. In the medieval style, the upper layer will hang over by 1. Now let's strip all this spruce. The upper level should be as high, if not higher, than the first level to maintain the sense of proportion in the build. Now that we have the upright posts, we just connect them with more horizontal spruce posts to frame the upper level. I want to bring the mixed deep slate floor out before I proceed with the roof because I want a little more time to think about the roof and I want to make sure these lower levels are golden. The floor is looking good, but I'm wondering how to make the inside look a little better. Rather than just having these 2 horizontal posts attached to the wall, I think a solid beam all the way up to the stone would look more appropriate. So I'm going to knock off these posts at the end and recycle them into a tall vertical beam. Yes, that's looking really good. Structurally sound even. I want a better sense of what the entrance looks like, so I'm crafting up some polished deep slate blocks and baking them to crack them. These could either be solid walls on either side, but I'm going to try them first with windows to let more sunlight in since they face east and west. Now I'm going to frame up the front with a doorway and a small window. Then let's texture this with cracked bricks and cobbled deep slate to age the walls a bit. In these windows we're going to need glass panes to match the glass in the zombie's cage. Luckily I can purchase however much glass I want from my villager trading hall. With the windows and awnings we can turn our attention to the second floor. The protruding wall will need a little support with stairs and slabs along the beam here. Yeti! Oh my god, this is only like the second cat I've seen. And I need to get some fish. Meanwhile, this fisherman is just living his best life in my bed. Maybe I should build him a home nearby? Oh man, I woke up inside his head. That's weird. Let's grab some raw fish. Where's the kitty? Here, kitty, kitty. I'm going to pounce on kitty and feed it against its will. Except it didn't work. One of the best ways to tame a cat is just stand nearby holding a fish and let them come to you. Now you're my kitty and I will call you Toonses. Come back this way, you can protect my iron farm from creepers. Okay, back to building. I'm going to turn this stair onto the zombie's window downward to simulate a kind of viewport into the farm and make it easier to see from below. I believe I have a spruce store in my storage house and I need some oak logs too. There we are, good. Entry sealed. And guess what? I forgot my oak. Never mind, I have dark oak with me, so I'm going to frame the roof like I should have a long time ago. So the tricky part here is that I want the apex of the roof out from the building a little bit, and that means getting descending stairs between the apex and the tower. Now we'll do a spruce beam across and frame the far side. Let's strip this spruce log, but then top it with dark oak slabs and trapdoors so it doesn't just look funny or become a spawnable space. I need one more dark oak trapdoor. Do I have one in my storage house? Yippers! Now I'm going to fill in the roof with a mixture of deep slate tile stairs and polished deep slate stairs, and I think the color difference between the 2 types of blocks will make the roof look a little worn. Looks great! Didn't forget my oak this time. I'm going to use a combination of stripped oak logs, wood, and oak planks to give this upper level a rustic, messy look to match the roof and the bottom. We'll fill up these windows with more panes and top with awnings. Some dark oak slabs under the roofline will add nice details. Then let's fill in these side walls with oak logs and strip them and replace some of them with oak planks. Above, let's alternate stripped oak and stripped spruce. And do the same thing but different on the far side. I did a terrible job texturing above the house because I didn't know how high the roof would finally be, so let's clean that up by replacing some more stone with stone bricks of various types. There's a small ledge on either side of the zombie that might be spawnable. Not for a golem probably, but why take the chance? Let's top off here with slabs to rule it out. Time to replace my torch span with actual lighting inside. These polished walls look nice, like little wall sconces to hang lanterns from and light the floor up nicely. I'm checking my lighting with the minihud mod, but you can do this too with just the debug screen, and we still have a few 7s down the middle of the room. So let's hang a couple highlights from long chains across the front of the tower and see where we are now. The front center is still a 7, but everywhere else is looking pretty unspawnable. So let's hang a lantern outside from the middle stair and see if that fixes the interior too. Oh, I guess this fisherman lives here now with Toonsus. Checking the light again, and yep, no 7s. We has a well-lit interior. Let's finish up with a few decorations outside and work on a ruined path just in front of the door as if there used to be like an old stone patio here. While we're not able to decorate the interior much more because we don't want iron golems spawning inside, the interior is really shaping up. How's that look? Please let me know down in the comments. The final test, of course, is to reactivate the iron farm and see that it resumes working correctly. And there it goes. We've already got an iron golem burning away up there. Difficult to get a good angle, but you can see him jerking around and on fire and giving up that iron, just like we like. We'll have to stand here and we'll have to test for a little while longer just to make sure that iron golems don't spawn like inside or up on the slabs on top of the roof. But I think it's safe to say that we've done a pretty successful job of decorating the iron farm while maintaining its functionality. Now we no longer have a weird looking Minecraft iron farm hanging up here in space. It's enclosed and almost hidden inside an attractive building and still working. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned enough to be able to decorate your own iron farm in your Minecraft survival worlds. Please click the like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next Minecraft video.